and welcome to my channel. Today I've got another face paint look for you. Haven't done one in a while. I actually wanted to do a body paint, but it was too cold. This wig is absolutely dreadfully awful. Anyway, yeah, the point is, wow, let's just ignore it. Point being, yeah, this is basically just inspired by skulls and roses, because skulls and roses are some of my favorite things to challenge myself with, basically with painting and drawing and face paint. Yeah. So, without losing any more time, let's get on to it. Just starting off with a little bit of foundation. Just depends on whether you want to or not. It's not absolutely necessary, but I like the negative spaces, so the spaces that are painted in the end, to be as... there is a hair on my cheek. Anyway, for them to be as smooth as possible. Yeah. So that's what we're going for. And then time for some powder once we look all nice and weirdly even. For me that's absolutely necessary because I have oily skin. But if your skin is not oily, then you could probably get away with less powder than I'm using. So at this point, you know, like, I didn't use any concealer or anything because we don't need to look absolutely flawless. We just need to look even, basically. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to use a bronzer. Doesn't matter what bronzer you use, but I'm just going to use it to map out where I want my skull to be with an eyeliner brush. The whole idea is that it doesn't stand out too much, so you can easily fix it if you mess it up. And while doing this, just, you know, try to like keep in mind where your own bones in your face are. Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect or anything. Just make sure it looks somewhat realistic. Now what I'm doing currently is painting the roses. I figured I'd do this first and then do the outline, simply because if I mess it up now, you know, then I can still actually fix it with the outline. Thinking ahead. But basically what I'm doing is what I saw Made You Look do a couple of times. And to me that is the easiest way to paint roses too. Just start off with a vague shape and then later turn it into a rose with details. That's basically the easiest method of doing this. Also, I gotta admit, I actually had planned on making this a full body paint instead of a face paint. But it's like 3 degrees Celsius outside. So I didn't want to sit here in a bandeau top in the cold. So yeah, we're going for just face today. Now next up it is time for the outline, for which I'm using a black face paint and a, well, the same eyeliner brush I started off with the hole shapes. Anyway, I'm outlining the holes, but I'm also going to fill in all the negative space between the roses, so it really looks as if they're like in the dark there inside a skull. Yeah. Which, just as with any outlines, is a pretty scary part, because there's a lot that can go wrong at this point, basically. But, you know, just take your time with this and it'll probably be fine. Okay, so far so good. We're going for black eyebrows, by the way, because well, I just decided I'm going for a cartoony style and the black eyebrows fit with it, so here we go. Okay, I quite like this look so far. Now you can see the difference between my eyes probably. I'm just filling in my waterlines with a black pencil. You can't do this with a body paint. Trust me, I tried, but body paint won't stay in the waterline. Probably because it's water activated. So it's therefore not waterproof. Logic and all. Yet I did have to try it out before I believed it. Anyway, but this way we're just not going to have a weird, you know, gap of skin between the blackness and the eyeball. And now that we have that, it's time to give the roses some details. And also, meanwhile, switch the battery of my camera real quick. Be right back. I'm doing it the exact same way as I did in the springtime look. Only the detail obviously is going to be a little bit more, I don't know, like not less detailed, but like wiggly lines and all, less clear, because of course they're a lot smaller than the 3 big roses I did in that look. But the idea is the same, you start in the center and make bigger wiggly, circly things as you go outwards. Okay, so far so good. This really reminds me of the time, by the way, that I did a dragon face paint and got really annoyed with all the skills. But anyway, yeah, point is, I think I'm going to grab a different brush than this one actually. And do some shading first, now that I'm still using the black face paint anyway. I'm not going to do shading on all the leaves because they're so tiny that the entire roses would probably just turn very black and not colorful anymore. I am going to do highlight on them later, but first off I'm just going to use the body paint dry and a small little brush to do some shading. Now what I'm doing is basically making it more realistic in a way. You know, realistic and all. Anyway, I'm just creating a bit of a rim around the edges of the skull thingy. So I'm basically just making a line and I'm blending it outwards, and what the body paint will do is it's going to be, I don't know, a bit darker, a bit more gritty, I guess, than eyeshadow. But it does work really well. You can make it really subtle, and you know, it's just a very nice and easy way to get a little bit more, like I said, realism in the look. Before I forget, by the way, and yes, I did completely forget, teeth. I'm using a very small brush to do the shading technique on the teeth. And I'm pulling it into the teeth because that's where the shadow would naturally lie. And yes, we're going to completely disregard the fact that I have a lip piercing through a teeth at this point. Through a tooth. That's just something we're going to have to live with. Oh, the difference the shading makes. I love it. Anyway, I also gave myself some like grumpy frown lines. Yeah, just because why not really. Anyway, now I'm going to go in with white body paint and just do some dry body paint for the shading of the teeth first, or rather to make them a little bit more white. And then I'm going to go in with the liner brush and, you know, some water to really make some highlighting the lines around my eye sockets and that sort of stuff. Okay, for some odd reason there keeps being like this weird ringing noise in the vents. If this place is haunted, then hopefully I'm just going to scare off the ghost this way. Also with the shading, or I mean the highlighting, don't forget the roses. Like I said, I'm not going to do shading in them because they're just too small for that. But you know, just having a little bit of highlight in there is just going to make them a little bit more lively, I guess. Even though they're in a skull. It just really makes a difference. Okay, believe it or not, I think we're finally done. I think I'm just going to add a wig to it and then the show part. And here we have the final result. Sorry if I'm not in focus, my camera no longer recognizes me as a person with a face. Anyway, yeah, for now at any rate, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please click the like button, it would really help me out. And if you want to see more of my videos, you can always subscribe to my channel. I actually do a lot of wearable looks too. For now at any rate, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope to see you next time. Bye!